my breath. Just walking up some stairs. Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm doing my July wrap-up. I read about 8.5 books in July, so I did pretty well for myself, and a few of these are fairly long. So I'm gonna get going on these. The first book I read in July was Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. It is a graphic novel series that's going to have 6 different books, and only the first 3 are out right now. Saga is about a war going on between a planet and a moon in the galaxy, and 2 of the opposing soldiers fall in love and have a baby, and it just kind of follows them and their story and how things are unfolding. So it's I love the art in there, but it is very gory, so I wouldn't recommend it to younger children or anybody who can't handle gore, swearing, mature content, genitalia, because it's all in here. So it's not for kids. It's definitely rated M for mature. But it's a really awesome series. I also read the second volume at the very end of July, so I'll just include that now. But it's really good. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. The third one I already own, and I'll include it in my August haul. And then I don't think the next one comes out until like November or something. I was trying to space them out, but I can't. I really enjoy these. Both of these were a 5 out of 5. The second book I read this month was The Archived by v.e.schwab, also known as v.e.schwab, who wrote Vicious. I love this book. I already talked about it and gushed about it. I put the review and the gush down in the downstairs, so go check those out if you haven't already, but I really enjoy Victoria Schwab's writing, and I really enjoy this world, and I'm looking forward to the sequel, which is The Unbound, that's already out, and I think it's going to be a trilogy, I think. So I think a third one is coming out, but it's not yet named or anything, or the release date isn't published. But I really enjoyed this. 5 out of 5, probably my second favorite book that I've read this year so far. The third book that I read this month was Speak by Lauren Halse Anderson. This is one of those critically acclaimed books that you hear about everywhere. I picked this up in a thrift store for like 99 cents, and I've just had it sitting on my shelf, and I thought, why not? It is a very quick read. You can read it in a day, which I think is what I did. The way that it's written, it's very easy to read quickly, even if you're not a fast reader, because of the way the paragraphs are spaced out. So a chapter is very short, and it makes it very quick and easy to read. I am really glad I read this book, but it wasn't one of my favorites. I do think that it has a very good topic, and for the time that it was written, which I think it came out in '99, it was saying things that people weren't really saying yet. So I think this is a really good book. It shows a really interesting perspective, and I like how it wrapped up and everything. I really want to watch the Lifetime movie attached to this, I think it was Lifetime, with Kristen Stewart in it, because I think she'd do a really good job as this main character. So yeah, I would recommend reading it if you haven't read it. I know it's on a lot of high school curriculums now, and I can see why. So 4 stars. Quick read. The next book I read this month was actually Graceling, and it was a reread. I've already done a discussion video on this, which I will post down below because I finished the entire series this month. But Graceling, for those that don't know, is about a world where some people are born with graces, and people that are born with graces have different colored eyes. Their eyes set at a certain time, and then everyone around them knows that they have a grace, and it can be something interesting, like being graced at archery, or in the case of the main character in this book, killing, or it can be something like you're a really good swimmer, or you're really good at knitting, or you know when it's gonna rain. Like they can be very mundane things. But I find the world in here really interesting. I love this book. I think this is my favorite one in the series still. Now that I've read the rest of them. And I just really enjoy the characters in here, and I love the story. I love the world that it's set in. I love the whole idea of graces. I love pretty much everything in this book. 5 out of 5. Like I said, I will post the full discussion down below for those that have read the series already and want to hear what I think about it, because it's about like a 12-minute video because it covers all 3 books. If you haven't read the series, I probably wouldn't watch that, but basically this is a great series. I love it so much. I recommend reading it for anybody that hasn't yet. To follow up with that, I read the third book in the series, Bitterblue, and again, 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the wrap up to the trilogy. This takes place 8 years after the end of Graceling, and has some of the same characters from Graceling in it. So all the novels in this series are companion novels. So I really enjoy these books. I would give them a go if you haven't. They're excellent. I love them. After reading Bitterblue, I decided to give myself a bit of a break because I need sometimes like a palate cleanser after reading a really good book that I really enjoy. So I decided to pick up Crossed. It is the second book in the Matched trilogy. It's by Ali Khan. I think it's Condi is how you say it. And I got what I expected out of this. I think I gave it like a 3 or probably like a 3.5 stars. It's not great. The series is a dystopian series, and basically the whole premise is that the society, which is what they call their government, basically picks everything out for you. Basically, the society loves science and data, and they just kind of study people, but the main premise of the first book is that there are match ceremonies, because society says that either you can be matched with someone that they pick out for you, or you end up being single and you can't have children or anything. So the main character goes to her match banquet and ends up being announced that she is matched with her best friend. So she goes home with a little disc that they give her saying everything about her match, who she already knows, but she decides to put it in the little computer that they have, and someone else's face pops up. And it's this guy named Kai that was in their friend circle, but that she hadn't really talked to a whole ton, and so now she's torn as to why his face showed up if he wasn't her match, and what the whole situation is, and it kind of unravels from there. So it's basically a dystopian love triangle. It's not super well written, in my opinion, but it's a good palate cleanser book. It's very easy and quick to read. I think I read this one in about 2 days, and it's not super short, so it's easy. The way that it's written isn't super awesome, and there is a lot of insta-love kind of things happening, and very cheesy, like, thoughts because you're in everybody's head. But it was what I wanted it to be. I wanted a palate cleanse, and that's what I got. So I will probably pick up the last book, which I think is Reached, and just finish off this series at some point. The last full book I read was Anna and the French Kiss, which I love. It's by Stephanie Perkins. I had heard about Stephanie Perkins for a while, just hadn't picked up anything by her, and then I saw these covers that were released, and I thought I can do that now, because I'm one of those terrible booktubers that judges books by their covers and buys things that look pretty on her shelf and that I want to read. But a book has to fit both, usually, for me to really want to buy it. And so once this happened, I said, yeah, I'll pick that up. So I loved this book. I am just now getting into YA contemporary. It's never been a thing of mine, but I loved this. This was super adorable. It was cute. It also had deeper things going on than just the cutesy romance. I loved everything about it. So if you like contemporary, give it a go. If you don't really like contemporary or unsure and you just hate insta-love or something, you know, something very vapid and shallow, this has a lot more going on than the love story, and it's not any kind of insta-love anything. So I really enjoyed this book. I would give it a... I'm looking forward to reading Lola and the Boy Next Door, and then Isla and the Happily Ever After, I think it's called, just was released. So I'm looking forward to reading all of those because they're just cute, but there's more going on than just being cute. So it's the whole package. The last book that I started reading but haven't finished yet, and I was hoping to be able to finish it, but I didn't, but I still want to kind of talk about it, is Atonement by Ian McEwan, I think is how you pronounce his name. I'm just going to preface this with the fact that I watched this movie when it came out a little while ago. I think I was in high school or college when this came out. And I did not like the movie. It has Keira Knightley in it. It was pretty well received back when it came out. Fans of the book, I feel like, enjoyed the movie. This is one of those instances where I really, really wish I would have read the book before watching the movie, because I completely spoiled myself for it. I didn't know that it was a book when it came out, so really nothing I could do about that, but it's just better going into this book not really knowing a ton of what it's about. So I will say that this book is broken into 3 parts. It takes place with the backdrop of World War II happening. The first part is basically this whole chunk, because I just finished the first part last night, so maybe like right here. So whole half of the book basically is this first part, and the first part takes place in one day, and it covers a series of events that lead up to a big event that basically change all the characters' lives. This is written in third person, so you can get in basically everyone's head. Whoever is being followed in the story is whose thoughts you get. So that's really interesting. I like the way that's written, but I'm not enjoying reading this. I really wanted to enjoy it because I've heard so many people recommending it and loving it, and I still have a bad taste in my mouth years later from the movie. So I'm trying to get through this. I'm in the second part now, and I'm enjoying the second part a little more. But basically, for those that don't know, the main protagonist that you follow in this is one of the most unlikable characters in all of literature, I feel like. I know that there's people that agree with me. She's a younger girl, she's like 13, and she is supremely annoying, and the author does a good job of making you dislike her. That's the point. The author wants you to dislike her and does portray her as a bratty 13-year-old who doesn't know anything and is very naive and causes a lot of issues for everybody else. So yeah, but if you like historical fiction books, this is very highly recommended. I do like the way it's written, like I said, but I'm just not enjoying it as much as I would probably if I didn't already know how it was going to end up, and yeah. So I will talk more about this in my August wrap-up when I do finish it, but I just wanted to preface this kind of like a miniature TBR, like I am reading this but I'm not enjoying it. I'm gonna read something fun after because I'm just gonna need to recover from this because I just didn't like it. And yeah. Alright guys, that's it for my July wrap-up. I'm going to post my Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr links down below. That is where you can check on me throughout the month and see what I'm reading and kind of talk to me about what I'm enjoying and what I'm not enjoying about the books that I'm reading. So I would love to discuss things with you as I'm reading them and as I'm freaking out about some of the books that I'm reading. So if you guys would go follow me there, that would be great. And I will see all of you soon. Bye!